All right, today I'm going to make a video on changing the plugs and plug wires in the BMW M750i with a 4.4 liter twin turbo. Now I've got the ARM aftermarket breather kit, as you can see. I'm going to go in and I'm going to take all this stuff off, and that way I can get to the coil packs and the spark plugs, because you're supposed to change these every 40,000 to 60,000 miles on these BMW 4.4s. I went ahead and pulled one of these yesterday before I even got started, just because I wanted to look and see if it had the burn marks or whatever. And it did have a little bit of burn in here on that, because these have probably not been changed probably in about, I don't know, they could have been changed like right at 40,000 miles, and now it's time for another set. So I went ahead and got the Iridium Platinum spark plugs, and I got this coil pack kit from Amazon. I'll drop my affiliate link to both of these on my account at O'Reilly's. One of these coil packs was $34.99. If you go to buy them at O'Reilly's, it's $89 a piece if you don't have an account there. And you're not top tier with them. So I ordered them on Amazon because it's the exact same coil pack, and I'm going to replace each one of them. And I like to just put a whole new set on right whenever I do the plugs, just get rid of it and go with it. So I've got the basic tools lined up out here, and I'm going to get these things changed. So the thing that you really need is a 12 point. Get a good look at that. That's a 12 point, 14 millimeter, 12 point, 9/16 14 millimeter thin wall socket. It's very important that this has a very thin wall on it. Otherwise, it will not fit down in the casing where this thing goes to pull the plug out. That is the exact amount of room that you've got. So if you have a thick, like especially an impact socket, will not pull in there to pull those out. And we're going to replace it with these brand new Iridium Platinums that I got from Amazon as well. Again, I'll put the affiliate link down below so you can check these out. Let's get started. So I bought these Power Torx thin wall 14 millimeter sockets yesterday, and they actually don't even fit down in there. And I found something online that said they did. So that was an absolute lie, because it actually won't even make it down there. That thin wall won't even make it down there to change those plugs. So we're going to get another socket. We're going to find another 9/16 14 millimeter 12 point thin wall and see what we can get down in there. All right, so I actually had to stop, cut film, and then actually go get a new socket. And the reason being is because BMW actually has a very thin wall around the socket. And I have a thin wall socket, and it actually would not fit down in there. So I went and bought two. I went to both AutoZone and O'Reilly, and I'll drop these links below if you need them. And I went to both of those stores, and I picked up these thin wall sockets. If I can find them on Amazon for these, I'll drop that link below for my affiliate link. And if not, I'll just put the link in there for AutoZone and O'Reilly's to make sure you can get this right one. But you need a really thin wall socket. It's really hard to see on the video, but this is the same 14 millimeter socket, and it's probably probably a 16th to 3/32 smaller. You know what I mean? So it goes right down in there, and I actually tested it before I even turned the film back on. So now we're gonna get back and we're gonna start taking this thing apart and pull these plugs and get a look at them. And I decided I'm gonna break each one of these loose with my actual socket wrench instead of putting it on my impact. Is my impact faster? Yes. But it's a thin wall socket, and I'm like, well, if I torque that, maybe I torque too much, you know? And I don't want to do that. I don't even want to get into that. So I'm just gonna use this dude to break them all loose, and then I'll put my impact on once they've all been broke loose, and then go. I should have said that in these sockets, one of them, the one from AutoZone, was just a rubber boot on the inside, and the one from O'Reilly's is actually magnetic. And I like the magnetic better than the rubber boot. I just do. It's gonna pull that socket out of there and not leave it in the head the whole time. So then I can pull that out, get a good look at these spark plugs, and they are crispy. I don't know if you can even see that really good. Right there is probably a good view. These things are garbage. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna spin these in one at a time. As I pull one out, and I'm gonna put the next one in. I'm really careful to drop it in, make sure I don't change the gap because they are pre-gapped spark plugs. And make sure I get a good grip on that thing, make sure it's spinning right. We don't want to cross thread that. That is super important not to do. So if you can't hand start a spark plug, don't put it in. You need to be able to hand twist it, make sure that thing ain't coming out. And if you want a real check for it, you pull this out. And if that plug's in there, that means you got a good grip and a good start. And I'm using a very low torque Milwaukee impact. And there is definitely a big difference. This will keep me from over torquing something. Whereas if I use that 4,400 RPM impact, that dude could just strip out the spark plug in one shot. And I can feel that. We're snugged up. That one's done. Feeling pretty good about that. This is going to be a pretty easy job. And it's relatively fast. Probably if I had all the tools here, probably 30 minutes. I know online it said it was a 2-hour job. No way, 30 minutes. All right, so 4 plugs, 4 coil packs, all done in minutes. We're gonna get on the other side. That one looks really bad. See, that almost looks like moisture got down in there because it wasn't pressed in. That was really easy to pop out. And it doesn't have that rubber seat real well seated on there. And that one actually looks like it had moisture or something coming into it. So I don't like that one at all. I'm interested to see what the plug looks like. All right, so cool. We're done. That's the job. We're placing it. All I got to do is uh, crank this thing up, check, make sure I didn't throw any codes, having it disassembled because I did leave the battery connected. Sometimes that can happen, but more than likely no codes, no anything. We're just going to crank it up and run it down the road. So I'll go ahead. Yep, I'll shut that hood. And there we have it. We got the 750i M series BMW done and maintained.